All right. I hate standing in front of the podium, so I might just walk around, if that's all right. My project's on why RTA members are leaving RCSD, which I think is a core fundamental problem in our district. We are losing way too many teachers, way too many staff on a constant basis in our district. And what I did was survey some people that have left in the past 3 years to see the reasons they left and what we could potentially do to retain people like them in the future. So teachers are leaving. All of our kids deserve a high quality educator in front of them. We have way too many substitutes, uncertified staff leading classrooms in our district, and that is not fair to our students. And we gotta figure out why. So literally the first thing I did when I started getting responses was to look at our staff's responses and compare that to the mission and vision of the district. So I Googled RCSD mission and vision. This page is currently unavailable. And that's still active as of this morning. The fact we don't have a clear mission and vision that our district can show and support. In fact, I didn't even know it, or that's a problem. So I'm gonna go through a few different stages. Background, how did we get here, the survey, and my conclusions. So a little timeline, December 19th, the Christmas massacre, where we laid off over 100 teachers right before Christmas. Then COVID hit a few months later, shutting down schools. In May of that year, we had more layoffs. 46 elementary teachers, 39 reading teachers, 20 math teachers, including me. 19 speech and language pathologists. During 2021 and 2022, we set the record for most people resigning during the school year, and then we broke it the next year. 2023, RTA ratified a new contract, giving a retention incentive to try to keep people here of $1,500 for 2 years, last year and this year. And now in 2024, we're restructuring. We are closing 11 schools. Some of them are being reopened as other things. And 53 more teachers were given layoff notices. Mostly elementary teachers. Some of them have already been recalled. One of them works in my school. And when I asked her, she student taught in my school. We were lucky enough to be able to hire her back. And when I talked to her after she got laid off, I'm like, you're gonna get hired back. It's gonna happen. And her response was, but I don't want to go through this. You say that I'm gonna get hired back, but I don't want to go through this. And I can't tell her that if she gets hired back, this won't happen again. And that's not fair. That's not gonna retain people. That's not gonna give her a reason to stay. We need to give people a reason to stay, not incentive to leave. So according to district data, right now we have over 100 open positions within the district. And that's not including positions that are filled by uncertified contract subs. That's just vacant positions. 82 classroom teachers, 23 non-classroom teachers. That was in March, that was in March. 86 and 20, that was in January. So over the course of 2 3 months, we went down 0.14 positions. So we filled 1/1600th of a position in 2 months. Our mid-year vacancies, 26 in special ed, and then there's the rest. That's during the school year, mid-year, according to district data. How many people we need to hire today? Since 2018, we've lost an average of 10.3% of our teachers every single year. 1/10 of our teachers every single year leave the district. In that time, this is the breakdown. 47.1% have resigned, 30.8% retired, 21% were laid off, 1.2% were terminated. So these two are the problem. We can't have people resigning like at that rate. We can't be laying off people that when we need 100 teachers. But the certification areas aren't the way. They're elementary teachers, they're replacement. Special ed teachers, not as replacement. So that brings me to my survey. We sent out an email to all of the people we had for the last 3 years that have left RTA. The RTA had their email addresses for still. That was 96 people. 28 people responded. 3 of them started the survey, didn't finish. Here's how long those people that had left the district that responded to my survey were in the district. Almost all of them were tenured. Almost all of them had been here more than 4 years. So only 17.4% were here less than 3 years. I had 13% that were here for 20 years or more and took jobs elsewhere. Which I think, if you put up with RCSD and you were here for 20 years, and then you leave to go somewhere else, that's a problem. If you've been here 15 to 19 years, and you leave, that's a problem. Honestly, like, not that it doesn't hurt, but I get the people that have left 0 to 3 years. Like, you see this chaos and you leave, I get that. I don't like it, but I kind of get it. If you've been here longer than that, you have put up with this and then you got your breaking point and you were done. So my first question was, what factors drew you to take a position in RCSD? So I took some important words out of people's answers. They love the opportunity. They wanted diversity in their students. They were passionate. They wanted urban. So here are some specific quotes I picked out. It was the population I wanted to serve. I loved the kids I worked with during RCSD during my student teaching. You're a student teacher, you take a job here. That person left. The positive impacts it could make. I loved it so much I wanted to be part of the RCSD. %64% of these people took a job elsewhere. 32% went through all their education to become teachers, left the profession. I had one respondent that was laid off, and he took a job somewhere else. So what aspects of your new district are better than RCSD? I won't read them all. I thought clear vision was funny. And what struck me the most was I can relate to all of these. And if you teach here, you probably can too. These are the things we want. We want to be treated like professionals. We want stability. We want respect. So here, what aspects of your new job or contract make it easier than RCSD? I teach 7th and 8th grade math, but I work in elementary school. I KA for another couple of weeks until I move to a middle school. But when I read I get a full 30-minute lunch, an hour, 15-minute planning time in elementary school, my elementary teacher don't get anywhere close to that. and it's a simple thing, but I can teach in my new district. Like, I can just teach. And I think we all just want to teach. Like, that's why we became teachers, to teach. And we have so many other things we have to do other than just teach. So you're asked, what was better about the RTA contract or your job in RCSD? Salary and benefits. But if you doubled the salary, I still wouldn't take it. Nope. Only 13% of the people would consider coming back to RCSD. 40% or 39% weren't sure, 47, 48%, flat out no. And those unsures, I'm sure that it would take a big change in RCSD to convince them to come back. Why wouldn't you consider coming back? I've not been this happy in the longest time. I found the joy in teaching again. RCSD made me completely despise the career I worked so hard for. They laid off a full generation of dedicated young teachers in 2020, 2021. The last 5 years were the worst time in my career. I had to see a doctor to get on meds so I wouldn't have a mental breakdown. So I had people rank what influenced them in leaving RCSD. 1 was strongly influenced, 4 was did not influence, 2 and 3 somewhat barely. I ordered these from the most important to the least important according to their rankings. So here, weighted average of 1.5. So strongly influenced and somewhat influenced, barely did not influence. The graphs show how many people's responded that. Not feeling supported, tied with feeling burnt out is the highest. Right behind them was working conditions. Weak district level administrators. Weak building level administrators. Dysfunction on the RCSD Board of Education. Better opportunities elsewhere. Poor behavior in the classrooms. Now, as we go in, you'll see more shift this way, where these were not as highly influential to them later. Requirements of teachers, your workload in general, lack of consequences for behaviors, school safety. So I thought this was interesting that most respondents were either very strongly influenced by that or not influenced it by all. And that might depend on school, that might depend on grade level, that might depend on like where they're at. Staffing shortages added to responsibilities. Other life reasons. We got pregnant. There were some people in here that wanted paid family leave to take care of their kids when they were born, and they wanted job sharing. That they weren't able to get that in responded. So I think this one was skewed because of the people that responded. And how I said, most people that responded, I had 9.5 years in the district was my average. I think a lot of those people are not going to be influenced by job security. Where if I had more respondents that were in that 0 to 3 category, I think it would be a higher priority for them. Pay and benefits were the bottom 2. Because we get paid and we have wonderful benefits. So those were as influential. So, what do you think RTA could have done to make you stay? Some nothings. Demand higher pay, more extensive and consistent expectations in place for administration. Smaller caseloads, class sizes, paid family leave. I thought this one was interesting. We have the transfer days, we have so much turnover, having people be incentivized to stay in a school and build that community, I think is important. And I think in my school, our core teachers that have been there a while build that community, and then when others come in, they are brought into that community. But we need that core in all schools to build that solid community. Some more nothings. Next was, what could RCSD have done to help you stay at RCSD? There were a lot of responses, but I thought this one summed up everything well. So my summary, I admit there's some sample bias here. RTA having email addresses for people that have left, probably skewed us towards people that have been here longer. People that responded probably had more invested in the district and were there longer to take the time to go fill out the survey. We said the average was 9.5 years in the district for the people that responded. I thought teachers came into the district excited. Everything was positive about why would you come here. They talked about their love of diversity and urban education and our kids and our families. And then over time, the system just broke them. Most respondents, there were a couple that were concerned about it, but most people were not concerned about pay or benefits. They left because of the working conditions, feeling burnt out. All of those other things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And there were people that talked about how RCSD is actively working against them instead of helping them in their careers. So my personal suggestions, we got to focus on well-being of members in our contract negotiations. Lowering class sizes, which we have been working on. More planning time, social emotional supports for teachers. Right now there's a big push for social emotional supports for our students, but our students need those teachers to be in a mental space to be in that school. The students need teachers that are certified and are trained and are we have to have the people to support the kids. And beyond just self-care. I think we need to work with the district to encourage distributed leadership. My school, we are a teacher-led school where our voices are heard and on a regular, constant basis. And that doesn't happen everywhere. And I think distributed leadership, not just administrators, but us, as the educators and the professionals, helping run our school across the district would be beneficial. I think we need to start evaluating administrators. I think honest conversations with administrators about their performance and their leadership in a school would be beneficial to everyone. And lastly, I think we need people that have been retired from RCSD to run for Board of Ed, because our Board of Ed needs people that have been in the schools to help lead our school. That's what I got. We got questions? Yeah.
Yeah, nice job. I'm curious about the teacher-led schools. So does it want teacher focus focus on curriculum and one focuses on like
No,
administrative or?
so not, I mean, we still have administrators, we still are all in classrooms, but, when decisions are made in our school, it is a combination of both administrator thought and teacher thought. Any other questions? Thanks.